More YouTube content, okay. So in here the matchup starts, like what do you think of when you see this Camille? Let me just turn off this thing as well. Absolutely. Do that. So like there is like a general. Damn, you should add me so I could type to you in game. You could also talk as well. Do you have a microphone? So you don't have to tab because you have one monitor. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, okay. You can talk, okay. When social anxiety, when anxiety exists. Okay, what's your name? You on the Smurf? Yeah. Let's add you. Oh, I think I already add you actually. Okay, now you can type. Alright. Fuck, I clicked on the wrong replay. It's a Fiora one. Yeah. I think I accidentally downloaded it and then I just autopilot clicked on it. So let's look at the Gangplank one. Good. There's like one thing you can also do against Camille, you know? Pretty much you can level 1 cheese the champion, you know? You can just like simply Q, auto, and then walk away with the movement speed you get. That will be usually an outrade, you know? Because usually people are not like lots of people are not like spam smashing that they click when they walk in a bush. So that's like, if you have like a bush priority, then that's like one of the things you can do with Gangplank, you know? Oh, but in the in-game it doesn't show the chat, you know? That's the problem. Like in the replay it doesn't show. But I'll be fast with tabbings and all that.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions.
Okay, so in here you declare for your potion. Okay. I will get out the epic pen as well. Uh-huh.
Minions have spawned.
Okay. So in general I don't like how you walk to the lane, you know, and this is what like most of the lower rank players do as well, you know. So I don't know, generally I'm not scared of my laner unless it's a terrible matchup, especially on this second. I don't watch invade on this second. So you should always guard, you know, because the issue with that is, so what happens if you don't guard? It can also affect you really badly. So what happens if the enemy jungler by chance starts from your top side? Your jungler loses 3 camps, which affects the game a lot, you know. Then what happens if the enemy jungler maybe took his red, or his blue I mean, then he took the jungler's top side, right? Or some of our camps, right? Then what does that mean? He can gank us or he can gank Ahri, right? So it does actually hurt our own experience as well, you know? And it really costs you nothing to guard, you know? Because they don't have upfront CC, you know? That's the thing. You will see what they do, why I don't watch invade on this account. So like, here's the thing, like even in lower ranks like gold, not all the time people probably won't invade all the time or steal these camps, you know? But it's not about only invading, it's about stealing the camps. In fact, some champions, like Sion for example, he can steal both of these camps, reset, TP back to his tower, and then he will deny 2 camps and he will have a red on himself, you know? But most of the gold elo players wouldn't be smart enough to do so. Because it costs you really nothing, you know, unless if you really wanna have priority to invade, you know. Like for example, you wanna be in lane, you know, as early as possible. If you wanna shove early on and you wanna have prio for invade, or perhaps set up some form of dive, but for that you gotta chip down more Camille's HP, right? So okay, so the in-hit the matchup begins, right? Okay. So she doesn't, oh she did connect it, okay. So let's talk about your movement in here, right? So one thing to be clear, you have pretty much the same movement speed as Camille does, right? except you have 5 more. So in here, as soon as Camille showed up, you should work a little bit backwards and aim to swing in a Q, you know. So like when she moves towards you, right, you need to match her movement, you know, so that she does not get to swing a W on you, just because you have a little more movement speed, you know. So if you are distancing well, that Camille W should rarely hit you. It's really important because you're playing first strike, you know. So you punish it back with a Q. You move away. Yeah, so that's the issue, you know. Like if she connects her W, she slows you, and she can step up and do all of these things, you know. So if we space a little bit better, you know, and match her movement, like in here, you know. For example, the safest things you can even do, you can just hug. You don't even have to overthink it, you know. You can just stay on the bottom side of the map, so you don't get like collapsed on by Camille's W, you know. So you don't even have to play perfectly then to outplay her. You just stay on the correct spot and she won't ever reach you, you know. But staying in here exposes you to a Camille W, you know, which could be really easily avoided. So like in here you can visually see you didn't... Oh, she W'd from a bush, that's why it was kind of hard. So your positioning was then incorrect, right? Because in here, like straight up, just because of our positioning, we lost like half HP, right? And our first strike, I do believe. Okay, but now we know. Yeah, I don't usually run... It's like, you know, like a Darius, you know, when he kills you from a bush, you know, something similar, you know, except like Camille's W is a bit longer and she, you know. Now, okay, let's go back in here, right? So I'm not sure if you know it, but here's the thing, you know, like when Camille gets level 2, right? So Camille always gets level 2, every champion gets level 2 from the second minion of the second wave, first minion of the second wave, you know. So look, she took the whole wave, the last wave, right? And this is the upcoming wave, you know. And she gets to be almost level 2, so if she kills a range minion, right? A melee one, I mean. Then she gets level 2, you know. Like, keep it in mind, like second wave, you know, first minion gives level 2. So you should be really careful how you position, because in here you weren't positioning accordingly, you know. So in here you really overstepped into hurry, right? Because look, she intentionally mind controls you to step up, because she's positioning backwards, so you think you're in a safe spot, but in fact she's just trying you to bait you in, you know. That's her point. That's why she's positioning defensively, also to avoid your Q pokes, of course. Okay. So you got it so far. Your position, you had some positioning issue at level 1, right? Level 2, you still had some positioning issue and you didn't respect her level 2. Now you know when she gets level 2, right? Okay. Now, yeah, I'm just observing. Okay. So now you know this, right? Okay. Okay. Also, these barrels are not really good. I know you're trying to poke her, but she can walk out, you know. And there is no way you can barrel, like from this spot you can barrel like outer, you know. So destroying these barrels will mess up your last hitting patterns, you know. If you barrel the whole wave, and you don't kill them, of course, at level 2, you can't 5 the wave, it will mess up your outer last hitting patterns, you know. So the thing is, you don't want to give up your E, because you're gonna mess up the last hitting patterns, you know, on the minions, right? And the other reason is, if you don't have your E's, you don't have fighting power, you know. So this is not really, like, if someone is positioning this defensively, if you place down a barrel in here, second barrel in here, you won't have ever enough time, you know, because you don't even have distance, you know. Okay, so now you know it. Because you can even give gold to people, you know, that's the problem. Because this only hits because Camille didn't really auto-attack it correctly, you know, that's the thing about it. But now it probably wasn't even completely worth, because she has potions and you lost like I don't know how many minions because you eat the whole wave, you know. So in here you dodged it, good. Okay. Got a decent kill there. Then the other issue is, you know, like when you have a barrel, oh you didn't have any barrels, okay. So in general, you know, like you wanna place down a barrel like this, you know, to zone people, right? Now you don't have a barrel, so if you don't have a barrel, you gotta play accordingly, no? Which means you gotta play a bit safer. Worth for keeping wave there, no? So you didn't really keep any waves there. You just wiped the wave, you know, and you didn't get the wave at all. So in here there was another issue, you know. You're positioning too offensively, I mean, right? Without having a barrel up. So your barrel is your everything on Gangplank, you know. Your barrel deals a lots of damage, right? Your barrel resets your passive, gives you mobility, slows them down, you know. So without the barrel you're significantly weaker. So in general, like, you don't want to step up like this unless you can pop a barrel on her instantly, you know. But you don't have a barrel. So ideally you need to be level 3 to fight Camille, because for example, in here you have a barrel. You can either Q the barrel when she jumps in, or you can just W her thing off, right? You can W her E off, right? Then you can auto her, then you can Q the barrel, then you get another passive reset, you know. But without W you can't really step up like this, you know. Because she had bomb plating up and her passive, you know. And into that you cannot trade, you know. 20% of her health, HP, which is 162. Bomb plating also heals her, you know. So I think you play too offensively, you know. You play too offensively in a matchup where you should only scale in the very, very early level, still level 3 at least, you know. So yeah, like, you can outskill her in some way, as I said, but in the early levels, if she's playing well, ideally she should beat you. Well, she's a scaling champ, you're a scaling champ as well, right? But it doesn't mean that she does not have any fighting power, you know. In here probably I would already press my W. Let's get like a big chunk of healing off, because you want to use multiple Ws, you know. So like in here, if you give up your W, you're not in danger because you're under tower, you know. So therefore I would just like use one and then just wait until another one comes up. That was really weird. So you know what, you could do something smarter in here, because I think Camille just killed herself. So there's like one thing you can do. Instead of like aiming your mouse to Q the barrel, you could just bounce your mouse backwards, and as soon as you see her eating the wall, you can just flash out her, and then she will be under tower, you know. Then it's more likely you're gonna get the kill, you know, because in here like the barrel doesn't even get destroyed. The barrel wasn't setted up, it didn't have 1 HP, you know. So you had like some mouse movement issue, right? Your mouse wasn't in the correct spot. But then again, it takes some reaction time as well, you know. So it's like an outplay pattern you can go for, because like in gold, most of the Camille players wouldn't just eat the wall and see if you flash, you know. They wouldn't go for this type of bluffs. If a Camille eats a wall, usually they're gonna jump in as well, you know. So if you flash out, then it's really likely that you're gonna flash her E, and then it's more likely you're gonna get the kill without risking, you know. Yeah, that was very stupid on her part. Yeah, I think she took some tower shot in extra or something, you know. Like, I think something messed up. She messed up there something, you know. I swear in this dive. But it doesn't matter so much. So you W'd, it was correct. You dodged. You tried to dodge her thing. So in here she took like 1 extra tower shot. Yeah, but I think she would die, huh? It was just really risky, you know. It was just really risky because you were like 10 HP off of dying. I mean, I do believe if she layered correctly her W to her E, you would be actually dead. If you know that W-E combo on Camille, where you just like W-E to the wall and your E-W connects, you know, on Gangplank. So it was a little bit of a mechanical issue. Because I think like Camille did hit her inside part of her W, not outside one, you know. Okay. Okay. My next skills are much dumber than that. So again, like, your mouse is in the incorrect spot, you know. So to react, didn't think she was do it. Yeah. So in here, I do believe you weren't paying attention or something happened, you know. But so in here, when you see Camille is here, your mouse should be already here or here, you know. And then you only have to press one button, you know. Then if, like, the chances are really small that she's gonna predict, you know, a mean here, you know, in gold. So, if you would give up your flash, do you have flash up? Yeah, you have flash up. So if you would flash the T, she could be dead there, you know.
I am out of patience.
Or not unless you would survive, you know, at least. Maybe you would survive at least, that's the thing, you know. Yeah, like I said, this account is just doomed, so I don't wanna sweat, but it's still useful. Okay. Alright. Alright. So you got your Sheen, that's like a decent item, right? Okay. So in here, what do we do? What do you wanna do right now? What do you think of right now? Keep wave there, but I probably shove. So you probably wanna shove, right? Because the wave will shove towards him. So the reinforcement for your wave will ride faster than his one, right? His wave is always in the same part as yours is, right? So this will always push towards her, right? It will double stack. Yeah, so it will stack faster our wave than theirs, which in general means it will shove, right? Yeah, it will slow push into them. Now, in here, bear in mind that you should place down one barrel. So I don't like one thing you should do with Gangplank. You either place down a barrel in here in a bush or in here, you know. But when you have all of your barrels up, you wanna use at least one of them, you know, so it recharges. It lasts, I think, like 1 minute, you know. So you don't wanna, like, the thing is, you don't have a counter attack. So barrels are the main thing, you know. So barrels are the main things on Gangplank, you know, so you should always have one. Even if you don't blast them, you use them to zone people off CS, you know. For example, if there is a Garen and you have a barrel on top of a minion or a cannon minion, it's less likely he will try to last hit it because he's gonna get hardly punished for that, you know. So it's about forcing them to play differently, you know. It does not have to do anything, you know. It does not have to damage them. It sometimes you just zone, you know. That's all, and it costs you nothing. Zero cost, right? Because after all, you can even destroy the barrel if you wanna shove later, right? If there is some type of opportunity. Okay. So again, like in general, I prefer, as I said, like to have a barrel in here, because what people usually do against Gangplank. So Gangplank it's a little bit like a range champion, you know. People usually bush hug, you know, because of your Q. So you don't Q them, right? And they can maybe like use their ranged abilities like a Camille W, Aatrox Q to pick up a minion, you know. So usually people also like to walk a lot into bushes, you know, against Gangplank. So that's like another reason why you should like place a barrel in the bush, you know, so you can punish them just walking into it, you know. Okay. And also it's unexpected, like most likely people in gold wouldn't know that you have a barrel there, you know. That's like the thing, it can be tricky. Okay. Now my other issue was, you know, you don't really buy control wards and you have 2 wards but you didn't place any of them, you know. Now in here we are not in any type of upfront danger, but look at the wave state, so this will push towards her, right? So, what does it mean? We don't know exactly where Belvet is. So in general, if you are committing into a push, right, this will push towards her. You should aim to set up some wards, you know. You have 2 wards, you can set ward this area and this area as well, right? So you can just come out of the base. When you come out of the base, your first thing should be you walk like this, then you ward this area, you know. Right? Then we can ward this area as well. We walk downwards and we can ward this, right? We can even place a barrel in here in case Belvet W's us. So we can blast W and blast the barrel and escape, you know. Okay. Yeah, I used to play a lot of jungle, I permatrack, Because then again, the question is, right? It's about the question who could Belvet gank right now. So I feel like right now it's a bit late to ward this. So the reason why I say it, mid is ungankable, bot is again pretty much ungankable for Belvet. Or could be there actually. Could look for a dive, but most likely these guys are dead before he gets to, right? So there is not much gank angle beside you. Now let's look back at your gameplay, right? So you set it up one ward. You know, that ward does not do anything. Does this ward even do much? I think you need deeper wards. You know why do I say it? Because if she blast cones over, or she shows up from this area, right? And you are deep enough, Camille has a slow and a stun, right? So I prefer going for deeper wards, you know, in general. Should ward that blast cone or mid river, yeah. Yeah. I feel like it's just too close, you know? Okay. And one thing I don't like, you know, like you don't have, like you have 3 barrels and you don't like place them down somewhere, you know. That's the thing. Like you don't have threat without barrels, you know. So the thing is, like, the barrels need to tick up, you know. So the barrels from full HP, they need to go down to 1 HP, you know. And if someone engages you on you like a Gragas Camille, they can like pull off their full combo and you will only get at maximum 1 barrel at them. But even then you gotta give up 2 barrels because the first one has to charge up, you know. So you gotta like set up a barrel, you know. It's something like if you would play V, you know. You need to like charge up your Q before you get into a melee combat, you know. That's how you kinda like should imagine it, you know. You gotta set them up, right? This barrel about kinda random as well. I don't know why did you place it in here. Like Camille not gonna fight you in here, you know.
I want you to be.
I'm gonna come.
No difference.
So the Q was good. You know, I like the Q. I like the Q to the Camille E, right? You could just like do something like this, no? This was really weird that you went for a Balor. So like she still wants to fight you, you know, in melee range. You could just simply also just set a barrel up on yourself, you know. The only issue with that is that she may Q it, right? But we wasted like 2 barrels, you know. So Gangplank, you can't really afford to lose barrels like that. Okay. Again, in here. You can play aggressively. Why do I say it? Her passive is on cooldown. Her E has 16 seconds, her W 17, right? So even if she would have her E up, there is a big wave, right? So in here, you don't want her to last it. You want to step up. Your Q is almost up, you know. In general, you don't want to play passively when the enemy champion can't all-in you from the big wave you have in here, right? And you can also go for some Q pokes, you know. So you don't want to like position backwards like this, you know. In fact, after she traded with you, you should then play more aggressively because her abilities have a long cooldown. So look at this thing, 16, 17, right? And your Q is up every 4.5 seconds, right? So basically you should imagine you can get like 3 Qs off, and only after that point her E and W will be up, you know. So your Q is way faster up on rotation than like 3 or 4 abilities, right? So you can swing in 3 Qs before her W is up, and that's the only way she engages on you. So the problem is you're not playing well enough around her cooldowns, you know. So in here we don't position defensively. Look. So you can see it with your eyes, like 4.5 seconds. She has no more fuel. She has nothing. Her Q doesn't even matter. So I want you to play more offensively when you have Sheen as well. It's especially important, you know. So you gotta play around these cooldowns, right? 17 seconds, 16, right? Didn't know she had... Yeah, it's really long, you know. It's really long. So, yeah, so like what Gangplank is scared of, if someone engages on him and destroys his barrels. But if they don't get to, you should punish them, you know. Like, one thing you should keep it in your mind, engaging abilities, their cooldowns. So, usually, if you have a barrel on yourself, most of the people can't engage on you, most of the melee champs like Garen. But champions like Camille, she can get like a trade on you if she is in, right? So you gotta keep it in your mind, this type of engaging abilities, or maybe like a diary you see, 24 seconds, you know, stuff like that in general, you know. Because that tells you that allows you to either, like if you know the cooldown from your own head, it allows you to play offensively or more defensively, you know. That dictates the space, you know, of the matchup in the early game. The fact that I didn't crash that into the tower hurts my eyes. Yeah, you gotta push this in. So that was, yeah, so another issue, right? Again, the enemy wave is in the same spot, right, as your own wave. So in here you wanna step up and pressure with your body so she doesn't hold the wave right now, you know. Or probably you should then shove it way faster. Because again, the issue is, right, same place, so if she tries to face tank it, she may hold it. But she didn't hold, okay. So she, okay, fine. So apparently you did pressure it. You said you couldn't do it. You actually pushed it in. I honestly think this game, I was just trying to fight and practice, okay. Alright. By the way, it's not only now. So, you remember this fight, you know? Not only now it happened that you didn't poke her when her E was on cooldown. It happened even in the earlier levels, you know? So, she E'd in, 16 seconds cooldown, right? Your Q has a way lower cooldown at any point of the game. So even in the early game, you could then harass a little more, you know? Because these abilities are not non-stop up, you know? So I think the same issue occurred earlier on as well. Yep. And again, like the other issue is, you know, like place one barrel down, like golden rule. This is what I told you, you know? If you don't place one barrel down at 1 HP, it needs to have 1 HP the barrel. If it has to charge up, they will disengage, you know. After getting a combo in, they will just disengage, you know. So you need to always set them up. That's like the golden rule on Gangplank, you know. So that was like the main, like one of the main issues, you know. Okay. So now what do we wanna do? Bear that in mind. The cooldown, right? The cooldowns are coming up. We don't have a W yet, right? Now we have a barrel and we play with Ignite. Okay, you pick him up. Pretty much a 1-for-1. Now the question is this 1-for-1 even worth? The issue with that is that now he has a freeze. And the good thing is that her TP is not up in the present moment, right? But 1-for-1ing is not the best all the time, you know? She has no TP and wave is in a shit spot, right? So 1-for-1ing is not always the best thing you can do, right? Okay. Because now the wave is pretty much in a frozen spot, but I do believe it will slowly, possibly it will shove in. Yep. So in here we were a little bit lucky because there was a cannon minion which allowed the wave to shove in, you know. But if there wouldn't be a cannon, she could possibly have a freeze. And the problem is with Camille freezing, she has an insane gank setup for the jungler, you know, with her ult and E. So if you get caught, you're just probably dead, you know, with Balbat is around. So it's really scary. Okay. It's really scary if she gets a freeze. Okay. Now in here, what kind of information do we have? We are level 6, you know, and we should in general look around the map if our ults are up, if they're not. Oh, where did you ult? Did you ult some ever? I didn't see you. Where did you ult? Oh, you ulted some ever, okay. You ulted bot lane. Oh, you ulted before actually, okay. So, you're looking to follow up again, So yeah, this was a good camera movement from your part, so they're engaging, right? And Ramu shows up, so now you're looking for an ult, okay? The question is, what's this worth? Alistar used, so you moved your camera, right? And Alistar in front of your eyes, he used his abilities, right? All of his. Now, from the other hand, we know 100% he has no flash because his X flash is here, so it means he shouldn't have flash up, right? Now, the question is, would he escape? I don't think so. This Alistar would escape, you know? Oh, now he would. Okay, now I see. So did you pick up the Alistar or... Did you ult? Where did you ult, by the way? I don't know where did you ult. Or is it a visual bug? Do you know where did you ult? I think it's a visual bug for me. Okay. Alright. So, do you know when to get Trinity Force on Gangplank, when to go commit for it? So in general, you don't really go, you know, for Trinity Force if you're going for First Strike, you know? Like, it doesn't really match with the playstyle. Trinity Force is more so a grasp item, you know? So, in general on Gangplank there are two builds. There is the crit build and there is the one that's more so like a bruiser oriented build. There is this Trinity Force build which sometimes Solar Baka goes for. Usually goes Hullbreaker as well, time to time with that build. I've been going air more now because of the crit changes. But the crit changes are good for Gangplank. So in general, like most of the Gangplanks are always going for Essence Reaver, except if you really need that mobility and HP to deal with your matchup, you know. You know what's the advantage of putting a barrel in the bush? Like if you're fighting nearby a bush, right? So for example, we are fighting in here, you know. So you're in here, Camille is in here, right? She can't auto-attack barrels in bushes, you know. Because she has no vision. Unless if she gives up a ward, you know. But she can't like straight up auto it. So I think you should abuse bushes more, you know. Okay. Because like if you're gonna fight in here anyways, you just might sneak a barrel, you know.
So predictable.
Like for example in here, you know. It probably gonna give you the same outcome if you barrel in here and in here, you know. If you're gonna fight anyways with Camille. Except she doesn't get to like last hit it, you know. Because you can walk in the bush and last hit your own thing. Because you can see your own barrel, just to be clear, you know. Like you see it, she doesn't see it, right? Okay.
No chance.
I don't like that you didn't auto this barrel. You could then slow her down, then swing in an empowered auto, you know. I think so like you shouldn't look for auto trades when someone is on a barrel, because then you get a good barrel proc, right? Then you reset your auto, then you will 156, eh? So you should focus more on barrels in combat than the enemy champions when it comes to auto attacking, you know. So it's like a different champion, you know, from other traditional top laners. Of course, with Jax or whoever, whichever champ you play, you're hitting the enemy champion as hard as you can. But as Gangplank, you have two options, you know, either the barrel or the enemy champion, you know, and you gotta know when to go for what.
Executed.
Yeah, GP does not show my mechanical skill. I just want to learn how to use Elite. He's something new I picked up. So you shouldn't pick up too many mechanical champs. You can have maybe like one mechanical champ that plays something that's like less so mechanically, because like these mechanical champs take more time until you learn them, right? And the problem with that is that you are splitting up your skill points in too many champs, right? And all of them take some level of skill, you know? Which means that it will be harder to rank up that way, you know? Because we need to learn their matchups, their mechanics, and so on, you know? So I think like you kinda like to a hard game like League, you put a higher difficulty to it, you know? Something like that. So I think like you can pick up harder champs and more mechanical champs when you get better at the game, so it will become easier, you know? So so in general you want to hold the wave when she leaves it. Now in here it's not a problem because the minion wave showed up, you know. But in general you should have like that movement when so you hold the wave, you know. But if your thought process was like this minion wave gonna cover it and they won't go under tower, then it was correct, you know. But in general you should aim to like tank a little bit of minions, then look to hold them in front of your tower, because that allows you to go for Q trades under tower, right? Barrel trades without her all-inning you. Because Camille won't short trade into Gangplank, you know? Because you will always win them. She's looking only to all-in, you know? So, in here you did something incorrectly as well, right? So, okay, the wave is hold. You held the wave. Now, in here you're looking to assess, you know? Because Camille could roam mid lane, right? And the other thing is, we don't want to push this wave out. The Herald is not up, there is nothing for you. So there is no value for you right now to shove out this wave, you know? Maybe missing, but yeah. So here's the thing, this could be a bait as well. Some players just walk downwards pretending they are roaming, and then they're gonna come up when you break your freeze, you know? This is like a bait sometimes people are using. Bot pre-shoved, Ali can roam, yeah. So that's like another thing, right? So in here, I think she baited you into shoving, you know? Actually, she was here. She didn't even leave. Mm. So again, like as I said, like in this type of scenarios, you don't shove. You hold your barrels for combat, right? And you just hold the bait. So you can perfectly queue her whenever you want to, barrel her under tower, and she's not allowed to E on you under tower, you know? You're kinda like a range champion in a way with Gangplank. So when you play Gangplank, like compared to Fiora or to other champs, other melee champs, often you will play like a range champion with Gangplank, you know? Because you have ranged abilities as well in general, right? You have mobility, that some marksmen have as well, you build crit as well. Yeah, but Ahri is not really... Like, it's hard to collapse on the Ahri so quickly, you know? And there is no follow-up as well. She can also cancel her E with her charm, W out, you know? Like, it's not that hard to collapse on me. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, so you thought they will gank you? At this point they probably shouldn't gank you. Like, you're too close to your tower, and in gold they don't really dive you. Unless if Alistar is level 6 but he's 5, the only way you would get dived in here if Alistar would be level 6, otherwise I wouldn't even bother to think of it, you know. I don't like that you didn't prioritize the cannon. Okay. So you know what Camille players usually do? They queue a minion, then they get a burst of speed, you know? Then they look for a W. So that's what you should avoid. So if there is nothing to queue or last it, which you didn't have to, just move out completely. Don't even try to like outspace it. Just move out completely, because if there is nothing to last it, you may just move out completely. You know, it's the same thing that I told you earlier. You don't have to like play it out too well mechanically. You can just position correctly, you know? So you don't have to try to outspace her W in some way, right? So in here you could then just walk out, you know? Just keep it really simple, you know? You can just walk out. Because I don't even think so it's outspaceable when she gets so much speed, you know? So like in here there wasn't anything you could like even like queue. You weren't looking to queue anything. So it's just like a simple thing, you know? Was pro watching minimap, they won't dive me, it's why I was thinking. Yeah, so if your thought process was like they could dive you, you should then set up a ward in here, you know? That's like one thing, right? Now, as I say this Alistar and so many people are missing, Belvet is missing, you kinda have to then leave the area, right? Probably you wanna like barrel the wave, leave the area then, right? But right, it's really difficult for Camille alone and Alistar to gank you. Okay, you got out. Okay. So you got them. Yeah, that's why I said, you know, like there is no way. Like if Alistar is level 5 and not 6, you know what Alistar full does, right? It gives you like a lot of damage reduction, you know, for 7 seconds. But without it, I wouldn't like say, unless if Velvet is around as well, you know. I was very confused there. Yeah, he tried to force a gank because he thought he will get a W angle on you, you know, with Hex Flash. 3 kills for free. So now we got a big advantage. So you should buy definitely your item right now. Oh, you need to... Well, we are in the waiting room right now. At the same time, you should fish for ultimates right now, right? Bot lane, mid lane. So now. The ult is a bit mispositioned, no? Could then put like... So this part of the ult, look, this part of the ult is wasted. Something like this, right? So you wanna ult something like this. This part of the ult is also wasted, you know? So you kinda... I think half of it is in the wall, you know? Instead of like getting something like this, you know? Yeah, I should close the off gap. So your point is to just like close their escapes, as you said, you know? Like you care about cutting their escapes, you know? Then your teammates can kill them, both of them, and you get 2 assists, you know? Like with this ult you only get 1 Alistar assist, you know? I do believe if you positioned your ult a little bit more correctly, maybe you would be able to get 2 kills or 2 assists, you know? I think I got 2 assists, I think it didn't touch, yeah. Oh, yeah, so walked into, okay. Oh, okay. Well, he could then try to run and maybe escape, but okay. So now you got your item. So now we have a big advantage. So in general, again, like the general issue is, you know, this is like a habit for you. You walk to the lane first. You don't walk downwards and to set up some wards, maybe ward herald, because Belvet loves to take early heralds, you know. Your general thing is, as I noticed, is to autopilot into like going to your lane. I think now you're warding this time, no? I think. Are you? Or you just check? Oh, you missed your ward, huh? Okay, so now you ward. Okay. Okay.
The only standard that matters. Killing spree.
I think sometimes you have this issue as well. You don't prioritize like barrels enough, you know. Sometimes maybe you misclick. I'm not sure what happens, but sometimes you auto the enemy champion over the barrel. Okay. Sometimes you also want to auto and Q your own barrel, so they don't like snatch it away, you know. Yeah, I need to prio auto barrel over champ. Yeah, but sometimes you should also look to go for auto Qs on the barrel if it has 2 HP, because often they will try to destroy it, or they will try to like maybe auto attack and reset it if you destroy it, you know. So some players will be more tricky the more you rank up, you know. Okay. I mean, this game played at Steel Caps would be insane. Look how many auto attackers and AD champs they have. Quite a lot. I mean, cooldown boots is fine as well, it's a bit more offensive. Okay, I need to know all the things to do correctly when I have this much of a lead. So this is the point where you kinda suck at, as you said.
Rampage.
So one thing I don't like, you don't need 2 barrels to destroy a wave. You need a single barrel and you can destroy all of these if you position them correctly, you know? This is like another general thing you do. Okay. So then, right now the simple question is how can you impact more the map? So you're kinda like a little bit of like Shen, you can impact the map with your ultimate, right? So that's like one of the ways to increase, you can look more at the map and look for opportunities, and that's like one of the ways to increase the chances to have more impact, right? Okay. Why didn't we fight this? Why did you like run away instead of into her? Oh, now you do. But why do you walk away? She has no divine. No trinity. I can hear you, just look at your damage. You see this? You have constant trinity procs, you know? You have a barrel. Even if she gets an empowered Q on you, which she shouldn't, you still win that. Right? There's nothing really to be scared of right now. I did not know GP damage limits. So, usually, if you have first item over the enemy champion, she's 2-4-1, you're 7-3-2, you are kinda like auto-winning it, you know? Like, even if you mess up some things, normally you should win it. Especially because you have 1 level lead as well, you know? With your ultimate, so your ultimate also deals way more damage in combat than her own ultimate, you know? That's one of the things, right? So, you just tab, you know? Like, if you're unsure, like, it's not about your damage, it's about she cannot beat us and we either outshort rate her or we kill her, you know? There is no real way that she just beats us, you know? She can't outshort trade us, she can't all in us either, you know? So then we are in a position where we can do whatever we want to without her being able to kill us, you know. So it's just like a tabbing, you know. You tab, you look at the levels, stuff like that, you know. Maybe if it's an Asus, maybe check his stacks, but you can just like collect some information and then decide if I want to fight this guy or not, you know.
If life is changing, then you have failed.
So in here again, she gave up for E, right? Now at this point it's 11.52 seconds because she has like 30 cooldown from cooldown boots and she has 2 points. I don't like how you eat that. So like your barrels are, like your wave clear with barrels are kinda bad, you know? Like you can, as I said, you can wipe a wave with one single barrel. You need to position them a little more correctly, you know? So for example, say these minions will die, you know? And in here, what you can do, you can play for plates because she's dead in 1Q, right? I think in like 1Q she should be dead, right? So in here we wanna play for plates, right? So you can like group them together. So these minions will die and they will be grouped together, right? You can even pull them together with your body, right? And then like barrel the whole thing. Because you've been wasting a lot of barrels. Like if you don't get enough value out of your barrel gold generation, then it's really waste of barrel, you know? Like if you get 1 or 2 minions, that's not that worth, you know? Because then you give up a lot of threat. Like look in here, you got 2 minions, I think. And that's not much gold, you know? Compared that if you would get the whole wave, right? I don't think so yet, tools. Okay. Well, probably you already understand, like you choose you, I don't think so. You could then use it as a last resource, you know? Like if someone is that low, you can use your ult as a last resource if you can't catch up, you know? You didn't pull the minions correctly. So no, I think you get my point, right? So you have some CSing issue with your E, right? Okay. So and usually you wanna hit the melee ones, you know, not the range ones. So you wanna hit you hit once, I think, a range one. You wanna hit the melee ones. So the range ones, when you have Trinity Force, they die already from one barrel, you know. You should hit the melee ones, so you set them up so you get like full value, full bonus gold generation from the, how is it called, from the E itself, from the EQ, right? Okay. Weak side and weak.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
When is this objective coming up, this Drake? Where is it written? How do I check this? Oh, it's already up. So, I think in here you had a rotation issue. So we are in the base, right? And Ari could really easily rotate top lane and you could rotate to the Drake. Because who's stronger at the Drake fight? Ari or you? Most likely you are stronger at these Drake fights, especially if you can set up some barrels. Now, the other thing is, Drake should ban gone, their bot is dead. So one thing you could ban ping as well to get the Drake instead of them getting the tower, right? Because in 3 it's really hard to take down a tower because what's gonna happen? The tower gonna stack up too much armor. Like for example, look, I click on this tower and it has 221, it's insanely hard to take it down. So the more people are on the tower, the harder it is to take it down. So one thing you could do, oh you pinged it, okay, now you pinged it, I see. So they are already working on it, Okay. Now in here this won't ever freeze, you know. So this will always push into them because the reinforcement again arrives faster on our side. So now what do we want to do then? One thing you can do is just play for... You wanna push this out. Pick up Krugs because they provide a lot of gold value, right? Honestly, first start looking at it. shove hard into tier top because tier Camille can't fight. Now the other reason is Camille is missing, and as strong as you are, you know, right now, most likely she does not want to face you, you know. So often at this point of the game, lots of top laners will rage roam, or they just don't want to face you, you know. So you need to push this wave out because this will slow push anyways, you know, right? Then as I said, your options are, if you have enough information where the enemy team is, right, then we can take the top tower if Camille is not around, or the enemy team, right? Or we can also bully Camille. So for example, if we have enough information where the enemy team is, we can bully Camille with barrels, Qs, right, under tower, without us getting killed. That's one of our options, right? But definitely I would just shove this wave out, because this won't ever freeze, you know. I think it's a waste of time in here. So as fast as you can, you should shove it out. Do you pick up cracks? You don't care, okay. I wouldn't even walk here. Like, I don't even like walking in here because 4 people are missing. So I feel like it's more consistent if you take these, you know. That's just my opinion. It's just like the whole map is blind. And if they're not contesting Drake yet, most likely they won't bother. So there is like a world where they just collapse on you instead of trying to get this Drake, you know.
Red team has slain the dragon.
Scum.
People in gold always run at Drake. That was a good Q. But a bad barrel. Was there anything you could do more correctly? So
predictable.
yeah, you know what you could ban do? So instead of autoing her in here, you should ban auto the barrel. So if you set the barrel up on her right now after autoing this barrel, you could ban Q the barrel really easily. Look. Let's say hypothetically you place down a barrel in here. Maybe you would be able to get a Q off on it, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think if it... yeah, because it would be 1 HP now, you know? The barrel. So if you position it correctly, you know, you connect the barrels, the barrel would blast on her, you know? Because it's connected to this one. So again, in this type of scenarios, you gotta volley more hitting the barrel, so you can connect a second barrel on her, right? And then you can get an auto proc off, you know? Because the barrels deal a lot right now. Your passive deals a lot right now, right? So you get the passive reset as well.
More powder.
Because look, now you cannot do it. It has 2 HP. So if you auto attacked it once, maybe she would die, because she has no E now, right? I think you would be able to catch up because of the slow and because of the passive reset damage. I think she would be dead, honestly, no? I think you have enough damage. At max you're gonna swing in one more extra out, or you're gonna ult, but most likely she would be dead there. So yeah, again, like, focus more barrels in these type of scenarios, you know? I feel like she would be dead. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That was a good flash. So you get some. Alright. So you got your collector soon. Pushing towards the collector. Again.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Next objective coming up, right? So it's on top side. So what we should aim to do right now, your mission is, right? You wanna shove out the top wave and then set up some barrels, right? You wanna have priority. You wanna set up some barrels, right? Maybe some barrels like around some of these areas, right? Maybe a barrel in here, barrel in here, barrel in here, ward in this area, right? So you can even like set up a barrel on the side of the wall, right? Then ward this, right? And it matters a lot your priority with Gangplank, because it allows you to go for some really good all-ins at this point, you know? Say maybe have an Ari, if she camps there with us, then she can look for charts, of course, or she can kill somebody, or she can collect some people if you have vision. Okay. Alright. So now we are walking bot lane. Can we do anything bot lane? That's the question. So we are low on mobility. Oh, by the way, there is another mistake you do. So just to be clear, until you reach laning phase, one barrel always recharges, you know. it takes like averagely like 30 seconds without boots to reach a laning phase, you know. So what I noticed, like at every point of the game, you come out of the base, you don't like set up a barrel like when you're regenerating, you know. Let's say you're at like 20% HP. You should place down a barrel, let's say like maybe in here, right? Or you can also just walk all the way out in here and set up a barrel in here, right? Then like queue it off, you know. So you get some extra mobility, you know. It's especially important with Trinity Force, so you get more haste to go from A to B, you know. I should full clear our red side. I think has been it once. Yeah, that's what I would do as well, you know. Ideally, that's what you could ban do. Like I don't think so you can do anything in here. Like you gotta ask yourself, you don't have ult, you don't have TP, so just by walking, how quickly would you be able to like comprehend anything in here? Maybe you would collapse on Yasuo. You know, here is the thing, it helps that you are here. But he would be dead anyways, you know, in between 4 people. So, sure you're here, but it's not worth for you, you know? Like, just to rotate it, it's not for you, you know? Even if you get the kill, it's not worth, you know? Yeah, I know, and last mid not worth through. So we also like, yeah, options, you know? We lose our priority for Herald, right? We lose maybe our mid tower. We didn't get the camps, which means they are... So, since 5 people are revealed on both sides, possibilities, they take 1 tower, they take the camps, they take maybe Herald, depends what they are doing right now, you know. And giving Belvets, Heralds to Belvet, I mean, it's really bad, you know. Okay. So they're taking only 1 tower, huh? So like you can like move your camera, you know, and decide if you have enough time to arrive in a certain place. But usually like as Gangplank you're not roaming too much, you know. If you don't have TP or ult, you know. Like often how you roam with Gangplank is your ult or your TP, and that's how you impact your the map. Otherwise you can rotate the objective, or if you feel 100% sure that you can like do something, you know. I know I'm doing stupid stuff this game, but the info is super helpful. But better, that's fine. Okay. One thing I need to learn how to do is two part. 2 barrels, you mean? So I think until you get the hang of it, you can just practice tool one thing, you know. You can like try using you should turn off quick cast, maybe use quick cast with quick indicators, or just don't use quick cast for your barrels. Now the problem is if you don't use quick cast you can't really pull off the barrel combos off, but if you wanna just go for 2 barrels, like for a simple 2 barrel combo, then I think just use a little bit the practice tool until you get the hang of the distance of the barrels, you know, and how to connect them, because you gotta time your Q to the explosion of your barrel, you know. I have 3 hotkeys for the barrels with different quick cast settings, so maybe you should try softer in the practice tool until you can like pull it, until you understand correctly the arrival time of your Q into the barrel, how much time it does take, you know, to set up another barrel, stuff like that, or if they will connect together the 2 barrels, stuff like that, you know, so you get the feel of it, of how to do it, you know. I'm good at it past level 13, but not the ghost barrel. I mean at level 13 it gets a bit easier, right, because it charges up faster, so pretty much you place down the barrel and you just do it right after a little bit, right? Okay.
Another.
Again, like I don't know, like you have hopes in here or what? And these barrels I don't even think so they connect, you know. Um, I should stop doing this because it's not realistic. You're gonna get a triple barrel combo unless somebody sees this Varus, you know. They're gonna walk away, you know. So this is like one thing you need to learn, that it won't work, you know. If someone is already walking away, you can't set up three barrels on them, you know. What you should then do, you one barrel the wave, you know. That's all. Like, you gotta like calculate in the movement of the enemy champion as well, you know. Like they won't just walk into your barrel randomly. So look, for example, in here, right, the distance is not realistic for you to pull off a triple barrel combo, you know. Like this is already too far for me, you know. And he's already showing signs that he's leaving the area, you know. So you gotta get those signs and like not overcommit with your barrels.
More powder.
Cause in higher ranks, you know, in laning phase you would be really hardly punished for giving up so many like barrel resources in the early game.
Shut down.
Okay. So we picked him up. So again, what do we do right now? We can wipe the wave and rotate for the objective, right? We can keep it quite simple. So again, you're hitting the wrong things. I don't want you to hit these ones, melee minions. I know your E is not up, you know, but you should Q as well the cannon, you know. You should auto-attack Q the cannon. Because these minions are getting wiped by your E, you know. They don't have too much HP. So everything should be wiped together by your E, so you get multi-gold value. So you want to hit the big one in general when it comes to a cannon wave. So, since Yasuo is dead, when you are ahead in... So, when Yasuo is dead, right? Yasuo is dead, we are fed, right? So, everybody's quite fed, right? It's 15 to 29. So, this means that we are allowed to get this objective, right? So, what you want to do, you want to get the wave before the objective spawns, right? I'm gonna keep it simple for you. We have a lead, we are ahead, right? Yasuo is dead, Ahri is dead. Ahri's death is not concerning, right? So, the objective is about to be spawned. So what we want to do is just shove the mid wave, right? And then set up some barrels, right? Pull out the Drake, so she can like blast spawn smite, right? Instantly. And then we should zone Belvet whichever direction she comes from. For example, if she comes from this area, or this area, we're gonna try to blast the barrel on them, or zone them away, just by putting down the barrel. Often that just zones them away from even bothering to contest it, you know. So you cannot split push. Right now you cannot go bot lane, you cannot go top lane. It's second Drake, right? And soon we're gonna get the third Drake, you know. So if we are at soul point, then it's a really good thing. Something I do a lot is get a big lead and my team is doing terribly. I try to help them repeatedly and lose the lead. So sometimes you gotta realize that your team is suiciding and you don't wanna follow them up, you know. So there are some games where if your team is committing into a bad fight, you can ping them away. If they listen, that's good. If not, you won't follow them up if you feel like most likely you're gonna die. Except if it's a really late game fight, then you have to follow them up, because if 4 of your teammates are dead, then they're just gonna end the game because you can't stop them anymore, you know. Lots of times they complain in the chat and it makes me want to help them more. So since you're playing gold, you know, gold, silver, platinum, around that rank range, it will be likely that people will go for bad calls, they will complain, and that's how it goes in lower ranks, you know. So then we gotta like realize that if they are correct or not, you know. Like you gotta like ask yourself if this thing would be normal for me to do it or not. Because they don't know like every champion limitation. Like for example, someone would really like to all-in or go to into a 2v2 scenario with you, but you probably know it yourself that we wouldn't win it just by tapping, looking at the enemy champions, enemy items, so on, right? So you gotta have your own opinion as well of what should we do before you listen to your teammates, because as I said, they are low elo as well, you know. So it's really likely that they can be incorrect about something, you know. So you kinda like have to like ask yourself as well. Okay, So in here, moving on, as I said, we keep it simple. We have a lead, someone is dead, we set up barrels, and we get this rake. Push it in, of course, and that's all. That's all we do in here. Oh. Oh, she got the minion. And so, as you said, you wanted to split, you know. Splitting in here is bad because we are at the third break point, right? And splitting means you kill yourself because you don't know where the enemy guys are, right? And they are really good at collapsing on you. So she has a good gank setup, CC, CC, ult CC, right? They have a lot of damage as well. So you can't expose yourself in any base, you know? Like you wanna stick to your team right now because the objective is up. So the only way like you die if you go to the side lane right now, you know? Because that's the only opportunity they will get. But if you guys stick together and get this rake, then we're gonna get free value. Only split if takes more than one of their laners to kill you correctly, yeah. So in general, yes. It also depends on other factors if you can set up some vision. So, and set up a barrel so you can escape with the mobility and slow, right? That's the thing. So usually you should be dominant or you should have TP so you can join a Baron fight if you're looking to split, right? So usually you commit into this splitting if it's not like punished by some form of way. For example, if they have a Twisted Fate, I usually would never like aim to do that, you know? Or maybe if they have a Shen, then it can be difficult to split as well, you know? It depends if they have slow burst as well, you know? Again, the problem with this positioning is... So this worked out, you know, because we are really fat, but the positioning is a big issue, you know? Because in general we wanna stick with our teammates, so you don't wanna like sit with one barrel in here. As I said, you need to set up multiple barrels for different situations. So you don't wanna be on the enemy side, meantime our teammates are cluttered up, you know? So in general you wanna play a little more around the Drake fight with your teammates. Because right, you see, like if we split up, this can happen, you know? Like 3 of our members are off, because both of these champions work in the following way. So they are the ones that set you up some barrels. For example, ask yourself, if Ramus Qs and these Yasuo, this guy, Camille, Velvet, right? It sets you up a free barrel combo. It sets you up a complete all-in, right? Same as if Ahri charms someone, right? They have CC. So it means that they allow us to full combo someone. And most of them except Alistar are full comboable. But even Alistar, you can kinda full combo him because he's a bit low on HP and you have true damage. So it's likely he would die, you know? So you gotta play, you're kinda like a mage, you know? You gotta play around your tanks, because they can, when they CC someone, they set you up. They set an all-in up for you, you know? That's also something you should watch out for. Right? Because in here, this is a bit of famous positioning, you know? Pause, play, right? So, Ahri not in position, bad position because Camille just beats him with Divine, right? So we kinda like isolate ourselves, you know? In a bad way, because this could be also warded, you know? It's really likely that this is warded by the enemy team, you know? That's one of the things, right? Because you gotta remember, they had control over this part of the map before you guys infiltrated, right? So it's really likely it's warded, you know? That's the other issue. Why did Ezreal reset? Actually I don't remember why did he reset. Maybe he wanted to get an item, something. Or maybe he died, I'm not exactly sure. Okay. You know, the other thing why, as I said, like putting barrels in hidden places and in bushes is really valuable, because you want to hit multiple people since they have only one range champion, you know. So Varus would be the only one that could destroy it, but he cannot really step up to destroy it from an Ahri charm, or Q, ult, Ramus is engaged, right? So if you play around your team, there isn't like a correct way to upfront destroy your barrels, you know. Because Varus can't really be in the front line to destroy them, you know. So now we know. Okay. Like, mid-game is all about like understanding the identity of your comp, you know, and if you should all in the enemy team, you should poke them before you before you commit into a fight, if you should even look for team fights, or if you should look for picks, you know, because some comps are really good in team fights, some comps are better at getting picks, you know. Uh, so mid game is really all about like understanding the identity of your champions, their champions, what can I do in the mid game, right, with them. Okay. So in here we just simply killed her, not much happens, so we get the Drake, right? Now, the smite is top lane, right? And we have a smite up, so we don't need you right now to secure it. So ideally what you should be doing here, when Velvet was revealed on top lane, you know, so we killed this guy, right? We have a smite already, so they can steal it, right? You don't wanna be here because your team is ahead enough, and at this point, when Velvet shows up, you should then reset and cover topside, you know? Like in here. Because they don't need you. They don't need you for damage. They don't need you to protect them, you know? So you ideally need to rotate. You gotta use yourself for something more better, you know, right now. Because like it's overkill, you know? It's something like it's overkill for you to be here, you know? Because instead of like okay, now Velvet got revealed, now you should man rotate, you know? But instead of even like bothering to go to Drake, you could man just simply pick up these camps, minions I mean, maybe pick up these camps, set up a warded Baron, you know? But I feel like it's just you're overkilling it, you know? That's the problem in here. So we just pick it up.
Shut down. Shut down.
So again, when you're pushing towers, you know, make sure you place down your E. Maybe in the in here, right? Even if there is no wave, you should place down your E because there is right now no upfront threat. Or maybe even if there is a threat, you can counter that threat with a barrel. So you're gonna place down your barrels for Trinity procs on the tower, right? And also to proc them, so you get like the bonus big true damage on the tower, right? Or perhaps if a wave is around, you get like 2 bullets with 1 rock, you know? But in general, you should use your barrels more, just to protect you, get the next wave with upcoming, you know, stuff like that. So again, like main issue is you don't set up enough barrels, you know? That's what I saw, you know? Okay. Sent you 3 more bucks. We can pro fast forward a little bit. I have a question as well, okay? So, yeah, let's keep a little bit. So what do I do if I 3-0 the enemy mid laner as mid and he stops going mid and just farm around spot lane? So I think it depends on your champion, you know. For example, if you play Twisted Fate, you can follow up that roam, you know. If you play Pantheon mid, you can follow up that roam and turn over the fight, you know. Like depends what do you play on mid lane. If you play Galio, you can follow up that roam with your ultimate. But so what do you play? What did you play? You were gangplank against his. So one thing you can do, you can move your camera on bot lane and see if you can get some assist or kills or turn over the fight with your ultimate, you know. Now, the other option is you take plates. So even if Fizz gets a kill, usually it gives under 300 gold, you know. And 2 plates gives you 320 gold, usually you deny 1 or 2 waves, get some waves, right? So he can't roam for free, you know. He can't really roam for free on bot or top lane, you know. So the easiest thing is get his plates, deny waves, get waves, right? And if Sugar is catching waves in between his roams. So then again, like one guy is roaming, we ping, right? If they listen, that's good. If not, well, what can we do about it? We did our best. So if the jungle is catching the wave, then what can we do about it? So if the jungler was mid lane, it was revealed where he is pathing towards. So say he was mid lane, right? He's revealed where he is, right? Then it means that other lanes can play however they want to because there is no jungle threat, you know. Your jungler, you can ping your jungler to invade as well because the enemy jungler is picking up mid waves, right? So in that instance, our jungler should be taking his camps, yeah. So ideally, he should take his camps, he should dive somebody, because dive maybe the enemy top laner if that's a possibility, because the enemy jungler is in our mid lane, right? So there are some options to look for. Maybe you can even punish the enemy jungler a little bit, you know. So there are things that you can, maybe you can even like invade together with your jungler, the enemy jungler, right? So yeah. So then like even if you can't follow up the bot roam, sometimes you can roam on top lane, you know, or secure a herald if your mid laner is on the bot side, right? So for example, after when herald spawns, you can get a really big herald, and with the herald you can get a whole plated tower and maybe knock it into the second tower if the enemy mid laner does what you said, he's perma roaming bot lane, you know. So like if Maokai was too fat and it was ungankable, then you can't rotate top lane, right? So like you got like in the game you are, you know, you gotta look for your options, you know. For example, in some games it might be better to perhaps invade or to get a herald or maybe get a dive done if it's possible and get his plates later than getting your own plates, you know. It depends, you know, like it depends from game to game, you know. You just gotta look for opportunities if you wanna have more impact on the map, you know. And in some games maybe you can't even take the plates, maybe you can't even take the plates because the enemy jungler is hovering, picking up the wave, so you can't take plates, you know. So if you shove, then there is nothing else to do. You can set up wards, you can roam top maybe, right, if that's a possibility. Perhaps follow up your own jungler into an invade, right, because most likely you won't know why are you walking upwards. The enemy jungle in gold will most likely think he will roam top lane. So that's how it goes. But sometimes if you can solo kill the enemy jungler, you don't really need your own jungle to follow me up, you know. Depends on his lead, depends on the champions you play, you know. Depends if you can beat him or not, you know. Even if he doesn't go in his own jungle, you can still steal his blue, you know, if he doesn't dare to step up. So you can still take values and rotate back to your lane.
Red team double kill.
So in here we rotate bot lane, we want to go mid lane. So easily you want to rotate most likely bot lane, right? Because, so again, like objective coming, this is sold for us, right? Again, Velvet is splitting, so we got to pick up the wave. And we could just push as well bot lane, you know? So our team is already on the top side of the map. What also you could do, you could just set up some barrels. And at this point of the game, your barrels, if you just place down the barrel in here with the barrel, you can auto attack the barrel, kill the target, most likely they are dead, you know. So they are dead in like one barrel, right? And then Q. If you crit. If you don't crit, then probably not. So what do we do? Do we ping Drake, or we just like place down some random barrels in here?
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
So we do Drake then, or they do Drake. What do we do here? We just let them do Drake. This is Soul. This is Soul though. Like the thing is, you know, they are 4 melee, and if we get this speed Soul, they don't really get to play the game because they can't really catch up to us anymore, you know. They will have really hard difficulties to engage on us, you know. Like it's already really difficult, you know, for them to engage on us, but if you guys get this Soul, then it's gonna become impossible, you know. I think I was fixing my keybinds. Okay. I think the game's pretty much over at this point now. I mean, I think we got basically the main things. I think I'm gonna say pretty much the outcome of the game's obvious. I think we got the main things that we have to... Like for example, by the way, there is no point to place a barrel in here. Because if you're gonna walk anyways deeper, then why don't you proc it off this barrel, you know? They have the same amount of HP as well. Like you don't even have to kill this barrel, but I guess you can do it, right? To make it, I guess, a bit... Yeah. Yeah, so from this point it's pretty much obvious what's gonna happen, right? You guys gonna slowly end, and there will be one more team fight and we are slowly ending. So we got like the main things out of this game of what